Truth Slayer 3-1.
All right, well, let's have our predictions. Let's throw it now to our casters. This game is ready to go. Gaskin and Strongside, please take it away.
Thanks, Brycey. We're already into the match. We're going to kick things off with Riot's the man who is back, and he is in full action, ready to show and prove that he has got what it takes to be in these top 3 teams. He's going to get some nades off into the Flowers, trying to stay alive around the Prius, but he'll immediately get taken down in a one-on-one battle versus Squashy. So let's move on over to Squashy, but he'll also fall as well. So 2 players down from each team, and really not too much control happening just yet.
And just a reminder for everyone that this is a match for top 6. The winner will be playing XL later on for top 4. What a surprise that'll be. Maybe one of these teams going out at top 6 or even top 4. But starting off early, it seemed like Viperio had a decent start to the game, but still control has gone in favor to Vexed. After all, they managed to push a few people to bottom mid. It was a little bit messy to start with, but now they have a little bit of control. You should be able to see Lunny here, Riot's here, sorry, get some control at top gold and really pushing on 3CR.
Yeah, we see a lot of players really like to control the yellow pipes in that top area because you have great sightlines across the entire map, and if your team is controlling that outside part, you're easily able to get a lot of cover and really not be seen by your opponent. But look at this bottom middle hill getting taken over. A turnaround 360 shotgun by Riot. Picks up the double kill. He'll immediately finally go down there as well, but they are still holding this trip cap, 19-0.
Yeah, Reach Riot is what everyone has been saying, and they're saying he's back. He's the same player as he was in Reach. He wants to make up for that game where they lost his supremacy as well. He didn't have the best of game 3s and already total control here. Viperio need to try and find a way to kind of wiggle their way back, but they're constantly being pushed at yard, and they can't seem to do anything about it.
Oh,
what? Just had time to reload, and he still got a kill against Squashy.
Keeping it going back over to Riots once again. This trip cap still not touched yet, but it looks like Yard may go down. No, they do take that player down as well and get the reset, but 3 players have put their focus towards bottom mid, and that's going to be Squashy sitting down there to get that finished off, and they have won, but no points on the board yet. All they need to do is just get some kills and try and get 2 strongholds instead of putting too much focus on trying to get that capture, get 2 or 3 dead.
I mean, they're running individually, all trying to get a stronghold by themselves. We do see now Camouflage in the hands of Lunny as well. They've just got total control here. Like, this is absolutely unreal from Vex. The fact they've been able to get both Camouflages so far has made it really difficult for Viperio to do anything. It seems like they're constantly being flanked from behind. You can see there Squashy Josh is doing what he can, but that's still going to be total control. A nice double there for Lunny. Dare I say it, Strongside, we may even see a 100-0 here unless Viperio do something drastically different.
We very
Hip hop.
very well might see that happen, but he's going to go down with the shotgun. Great work, though, with the camo. I do want to point that out. Sometimes you see players really kind of just play a little bit too overly aggressive with that camo, trying to overextend and pick up some kills, but you saw Lunny really just take it slow. He didn't try and force anything. He just waited for the players to come to him, and he just laid down some crossfire to put the other team at bay and not really let them push out.
Yep, Nest is now going to be taken as well. That goes back to total control. It looks like Viperio are taking yard, so at least they get that. But the unfortunate thing, Strongside, it means they're all going to be spawning in yard, and that means Vex can just say wham bam thank you ma'am, and they can start pincering them, pushing in, which is exactly what's happening. And Kristola and Lunny finish off 2 players accordingly. And unfortunately, this is pretty much going to be game, set, and match, to be honest, Mike.
Yeah, this looks like a blowout. The trip cap is in full effect. Once again, a Deadeye trying to get some shots here, but just not enough aggression coming from this squad. You're just seeing them fight these battles around the center part of the map, but they're not really able to get any control. Right when they step into the stronghold, they're immediately taken down and just getting collapsed on from every single angle, and that is gonna do it. Game 1 go to Vex, fist bump to close it off. Definitely got their eyes on the prize right now, and they are just focused on winning.
Can I just remind you that this is for a top 6 placement? We just saw 100-0. It's a little bit worrying. That worries me a lot. On the other side, of course, already in top 6, we have Capital Punishment and Endpoint. So they will be playing each other later for top 4. We'll have a look at the statistics in a little bit. Lunny, of course, had a great performance. He went +6. On the side of Viperio, they did struggle to get kills. Well, most of them did. Deadeye was the only one who actually went positive in the end. As you can see the stats there on your screen. Assists all round, pretty good, but overall, it was those camouflage pickups that Vex were able to pick up. Viperio really struggled to get any sort of control from the get-go, and then getting back into things, they were running individually to try and get strongholds, and they were being punished by a well-drilled Vexed. A Vexed that are hungry for a Denver placement.
Yeah, and on top of that, we saw the shotgun control between Lunny and Riots throughout the entire game. The 180 turnaround shot by Riots, and then Lunny just constantly just kind of baiting and switching over by the cafe, picking up a handful more kills over there. But definitely, this squad looks a little bit different from what we saw earlier in the tournament. They're looking a little bit more tight-knit. They're looking a little bit more reformed, a lot more teamwork, and just the classic bait and switch. And that's something that it sounds so easy, but in-game, sometimes players have trouble just constantly doing that throughout the entire match.
Do you want to know why they look different, Mike? Because they're playing against Viperio and not Supremacy. I hate to say it, but Supremacy are a different class at the moment. We just saw Supremacy
after that last match
qualify for Denver. They've made it to the Winners Bracket Finals. They've showed up. They've surprised both Vex. They've surprised both XL. And now we're going to see a loser bracket run from these guys, from Vexed, and if they do beat Viperio, which at the moment they're looking good, Nick, the fact they're going to have to play XL for top 4 is absolutely unreal. One of those teams not finishing within the top 4 is crazy. A lot of people would have predicted both of them making Denver. Of course, there is still that opportunity of the last chance qualifier a little bit later on, but for now, both of those teams would have wanted
they want to get it
3.
here.
Yeah.
They want to have that out of the way. They don't want to be thinking about it. They want to be comfortable so they can start focus on practicing. Because sometimes, I mean, you don't do too well here. A lot of teams want to split up. They want to just get rid of a player, switch teams around. That's something that happens constantly within the Halo scene. Teams will switch up, and you want to just lock yourselves in with the current roster that you have and just focus on practicing and just have your eyes on the prize.
Please say that some more in front of Europe, because European Halo has always been a massive hurricane every time someone makes a move. And to be honest, going into a last chance qualifier, that is definitely going to happen again. But regardless, we are still in a series, and Viperio do still have a chance. Yes, okay, it was 100-0, but you've got to remember there are games that some teams are just not good at, and I'm going to be hopeful that that was just one of those for Viperio. As we jump in now to Slayer on Truth, and we're going to kick things off with Cristola.
Cristola making his way over towards the pink tower. Does have some eyes behind him on pink 1, trying to get that camo. He's going to fly right over towards the other side, towards that pink street. So playing a little bit overzealous there, and he is going to go down. We do have Riots down at pink 1. That camo is still, actually, I believe that camo did possibly get burned there. But you got Riots now pushing over to the top mid, over towards that car side. A few players on his team are going down. He can't seem to find anyone. Definitely getting some call-outs, but no players to show up wherever those call-outs are being made.
Yeah, you're right, Mike. The camouflage got burnt by Viperio. They picked it up, but I think it was Looney Dogs was shut down immediately. And now you can see there is just a power struggle over here at Carbine, trying to get some control of this Carbine side. Squashy needs to actually win this fight, which he does, taking down Lenny. Very important. Now he has the power of Car side if he backs off and works with Outcast here.
Outcast getting some very well-placed grenades here into the window at Red 2. He does get those hit markers, but that player will get taken down by Deadeye. So Cristola goes down, Riots goes down, Squashy goes down here from Viperio, but 7-5 in favor of Viperio. Definitely, you want to win this game. Going down 2-0 is never a good feeling. That's pretty much, it feels like it's game over. You got a long road ahead to bring it back to a reverse sweep. Yes, it can happen, but what a stick. And there you see some body disrespect there from Outcast, letting them know who's the boss.
It's not about just going 2-0 down, it's about going 2-0 down against a squad like Vex. When you already know that you don't have the kind of skill that your opponents have, it's a very tricky road, a very windy road to go down. But these are the kind of games that Viperio can win. They've all got good shots, they're all well practiced, they play a damn lot of Halo 5. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do give a good game here. You can see Vex already struggling to keep up with the pace of Viperio. And sometimes that happens. When you're a better team and you have a lot of practice and you like your setups, if you go against a team that just has a lot of individual players who have played a lot of Halo, they just run around and they outshoot you. And it can be a very frustrating situation to be in.
Well, Outcast will get taken down. Jumps out from pink 2 and immediately gets fired upon from red 2. Over to Cristola now, making a nice flank behind Deadeye, and he's going to finish him off right as Camo comes up. So perfect timing here from the Vex squad to clean up a few kills over by the pink tower and get a nice little prize while they're at it.
Yeah, Riots was the one who picked up that camouflage as well, so he's going to try and do some work. At the moment, just wandering around bottom middle. If you're wondering why he's bottom middle, he was just listening to teammates there to make sure he could push to the right place, and now just watching from top middle, nading a teammate as well, just for good luck, let him know that he's there, just in case they didn't realize that he was top middle.
Well, talking about being around top mid with Camo too, I mean, you're quickly able to help out any teammate around the map and just get some cover fire, even if it's a few shots just like right there. He's able to get 2 or 3 shots, and then you've got Quadios right there to finish off, and now they have the lead 18-15. So here we're seeing a bit more teamwork and a lot more control from Vex. So Riots is doing a phenomenal job really putting this Camo to use.
And I love this from Riots, because a lot of the times when you get camouflage, you want to push around, you want to flank, you want to be a little sneaky beaver. But Riots are saying, actually, I can stand top middle, no one's going to see me because I'm invisible, and then I can just put shots here, there, and everywhere. And actually, that's allowed Vex now to take the lead here by 2.
Over to Deadeye as he finishes off a player at pink 2. Very close game here, back and forth. Now the Viperio has taken the lead by 1 kill, and the Deadeye holding down this pink 2 control. Does have a player at top middle as well. So moments ago we saw Riot's top mid. Now we've got players from Viperio controlling that top mid and trying to get those shots across the map, just being a nuisance. Those shields around top middle, you're able to kind of just dipsy-doodle yourself around there and just make yourself such a hard kill while your teammates can come around and flank from the sides and really just lock down a team inside of a base.
Vex are doing very well pushing as a unit. This is something that I brought up against Supremacy. They were rotating very well together, and they're making it very difficult for Viperio to get out of any situation. Despite the fact that Viperio had pink control there, Vex all pushed up to car. They've rallied shots across them. One of them pushed bottom middle just to make sure they forced them out of pink. And now Cristola is going to push in and get some decent shots.
Look at this setup here. You've got Cristola blocking this blue side here. Camo's coming up right now, and that's going to be Riots, who's picking up another Camo. Vex is on top of these power-ups right now, just not letting any type of control go into Viperio's favor, and you can tell it's really working out for him. 29-23 now, and counting. Riots trying to stay alive. Can he? No, he will get picked off there, but that player had to do everything they could and really expose themselves. They will get away, though, here in pink 2, but every single one of those Camos going into the favor of Vex, it just makes it that much easier for this squad.
Well, and that's what should happen. Any control element of this game, when any sort of setup is about to happen, Vex should be on the positive of that note. Viperio, they had a little advantage when it was a little bit messy, but now we're starting to see Vex really control the game, and they have advantage with the spawns. They can constantly rotate from blue to red. They know exactly where Viperio are going to be spawning. They have their number at the moment, and realistically for Viperio, they're going to struggle to get back from this point.
Vex are looking pretty good. They've hit that halfway mark, and they are still in the lead and still have quite a bit control. Let's move back over to the other side. Let's check in with Quadios here at car 2. He's going to get a nice flank here on Outcast. He's got to finish that. Got a little bit worrisome there, but that's the killing spree for Quadios. Now making his way over towards blue 2. You do see a red X, but look at this teamwork. Lunny's right there. Lunny does go down, but not too bad when you're in the lead and going for a one-on-one trade.
That's the thing. Viperio at the moment are just rushing in one by one, Spartan charging and just trying to ground pound everything, and they'll get the 1 kill, but they don't really want to be trading 1 for 1 at the moment. Otherwise, they are just going to lose this game straight off. And unfortunately for them, Vexed are just sticking in pairs. We're not seeing any random individual pushes from Vexed. Has a big double there from Quad as well. He looks for the triple. Outcast might be that victim, but thankfully he gets away. And now we will see Quad fall in the end.
The aggression that we're seeing from Vexed is just... Viperio is not able to match that right now. You can tell they're a little bit skittish. They're very concerned when they're making these moves. You can tell they start to make a push out, and then they're like, no, I'm going to kind of hang back a little bit here. And we're seeing Riots, once again, being at top mid. And here, they're getting ready to initiate a push. 3 players on his screen, though, as they've got 2 players putting down some shots. 1 player does go down. Riots getting caught on the ledge, and somehow he is still alive. Finally taken down out in the open in front of the base.
When in doubt, just look at the ground, crouch, and hope for the best. They're not laying off at the moment, Vex. They are just swarming in on Viperio. Viperio are having to turtle in, and unfortunately, this happens a lot on Truth. As soon as you are behind maybe 8 to 10 kills, you feel like you need to slow down the game, and you actually lose the game because of it. You need to keep up the pace, you need to get aggressive, and you need to be the one calling the shots.
Again, Gaskin. Again, Vexed has another Camo to add onto the list. This is 3 Camos that they've been able to acquire here in this game, and it is definitely showing that is proving to be kind of the winning factor for this squad right now. 48-38 as Quadios' camo does run out, trying to stay alive here over by Pink 2. Throws a death grenade, but that is not going to connect. 18 kills, if I saw that correctly. We'll move back over to Riots once again.
I'll give credit to Viperio. They've kept this closer than I expected after that 100-0. They had a very solid start, a very confident start, as I said, when it was a little bit sporadic, a little bit all over the place. But Vexed really showing their experience with their sheer control in this game type. They should be able to finish it off now. I think we need a miracle from Viperio if anything else was going to happen. But as I say, that's the kills are coming in the bottom left-hand hand of your corner. Viperio are pushing as a unit, but Cristola getting that 49 should be the nail in the coffin, and that will be 2-0 to Vex now as they slowly but surely move their way closer to top 6 in this bracket.
And towards the end there, you did see Viperio start to work in pairs a little bit more, making pushes together, but it was just a little too late to start that towards the end of the match. And earlier, saw the 18 kills from Quadios, really throwing down a big game there for his team and bringing home the victory. One game away from moving on. One team will have to go home here, though.
One team will go home, and at the moment it's very much looking like Viperio. I loved what you kept bringing up about the camouflage control there, Mike. The only camouflage that Vexed got was right at the start of the game, and it was burnt immediately. And, sorry, Viperio got the start of the game, and then Vexed, they just took control of that, and they had it for the rest. Stats are on your screen. As Mike said, Quadios 18 and 8, a nice +10 there. On the side for Viperio, Squashy still went positive. He was still doing big things, but unfortunately, when you do have a couple of players going negative, it is very difficult. A close game, I think Viperio, in the grand scheme of things, will be happy with that performance. Let's be realistic. A top 8 for Viperio, I think they will be, they'll be more than happy to go in home with that and tell the parents about. But now they need to just pick themselves up. They're 2-0 down. You've got to try and get a reverse sweep.
Riot's definitely feeling pretty good right now. He's in the zone. And, you know, it's cool for me to see Riot's kind of have this kind of being revitalized, because we saw him take that hiatus, and now he's just brought back like a new version of himself. And he's just, when you watch him play, you see the confidence that he has. Back, I want to say maybe a year ago, maybe not that long ago, you could tell he just wasn't as confident as he used to be. He kind of lost maybe a little bit of motivation, but now he's got that motivation back. He's got a solid squad here. He's got a good group of guys on his team. All smiles around for him. Looking forward to seeing this game number 3.
I mean, Riot's was terrible for a little bit. Like, I will happily call him out on saying that, because he was one of the best players I ever teamed with, and then he just stopped practicing. He didn't care, and he was getting picked up purely on his name rather than his skill. So he was still on these teams that were getting top 4, top 3, but he wasn't putting the time in, wasn't putting the effort in, and it showed in his gameplay. Now, he wants to be back. He wants to be one of those top players. He's putting in the practice. He's determined, and he wants to get to Denver.
So you teamed with Riot. How long ago was that?
Like 18 years?
18?
No, it was about
How old are you?
5 years ago. So it was during Halo 3 we teamed together.
Halo 3, so quite some time ago.
Yep.
Who carried who?
Physically, he carried me because he's quite large and I'm quite small. But in-game, he carried me as well.
So both. He carried you both. You heard it, Rides.
I just pull flags. That's all I did.
He pulls flags. 21 flags.
21 flag grabs.
21 flag grabs. You were an OBJ player.
I was. Very good ball handler.
Maybe not well-rounded player, not a Slane, but you did objective, and you need that sometimes on a team.
Yeah, so next game.
Yeah, so sometimes you need the full well-rounded player.
You do,
though.
yeah.
But going into game number 3, I mean, kind of looking at how these two teams have played in game 1 and game 2, Viperio, it's not looking too great for them. Do you think there's a sliver of hope that they can turn this series around?
No.
No.
I don't. I think Capture the Flag, Fathom. Oh, actually, no, okay. Tell you what. It's Capture the Flag, Fathom. We saw Vexed get slapped around a little bit by Supremacy earlier on Capture the Flag, Fathom. But the only reason was because Vexed hadn't really woken up for the day. Their eyes were still slightly constricted. They were still very tired, and they lost 3-2 in the end. Maybe they will do that again. Maybe they'll get a little bit tired in this game 3.
Well, Fathom CTF can be a very fast-paced game, or it can be very elongated. We see it go down to the overtimes time and time again. Is Viperio going to be able to hang on? We've got Camo top, mid. We've got Railgun bottom, middle. Let's see what Cristola is going to do here off the rip. Heading straight for bottom mid. Eyes on the Railgun, and pretty much uncontested picks up the Railgun and makes it away. Just untouched.
How? Why? Why is no one nading it, at least? Like, someone's got to contest that. You give away the railgun, and that is just going to be easy pickings for someone. Clearly, they're focusing elsewhere, and you can see they've gained control of the opposite silo, and Outcast is actually taking down Lunny. So they do have a little bit of map control. They've got top middle. Now, if they can pincer and they can take down this railgun, then credit to them, and I love that opening start. That's fantastic. But if we see Cristola get away with this and start doing a lot of damage, then that is going to be very punishing. There we go. That's already a double kill. Flag now being moved as well for Vexed. This could be a very quick game if they're able to continue with this control.
All right, well, with how quick this game is moving, you know, I really want to hear how Vexed is communicating, so let's jump into a listen in with Team Vexed.
I'm nading this right side.
No, it's not.
It's two dead, let's push. Let's go aggressive.
Push him the tree.
Three dead.
I'm blocking though. Oh, okay, I'm not blocking it.
They load the flag.
The Jan, kill me. I tried to block it quickly, but fuck.
They're low, weak. Yeah, one's still there. They're porched down on me.
Yeah, they're porch weak. Absolutely, Jan.
That's three dead.
We can hit this. Everyone Everybody go. One guy's porch.
Yeah, he's porched still. Kiss.
One shot.
Someone needs to come back for case. I'll spawn and help.
Two on the Jan, we can get that.
Yeah.
Be quick, Casey. Be quick.
Might be one guy, just be careful. Make sure he gets that.
Nah, we got this.
Okay. Top middle. Absolute. Might be a guy pushing.
Top mid. Absolute top mid. Right, so.
Let's do that again. They're tree now. Go top middle.
Blue tree and then cop. He just dropped. There is a guy in tree, boys. I'll play left. Two guys are tree.
Camo's going to be forced here as well.
Ours. Two guys are tree. Well, one top middle. Go straight for a core.
They're injured. Time? 42. 48. Yeah, okay. I'm coming back to top middle. There's a guy there flag.
That porch.
Porch now. Are you going to go? Is it around Camo? You're Camo, yeah, mate?
You're coming then. I'll get my tree for you.
Who's Camo?
Whoever's got red.
Let's go, Chris.
And there you have it, Vexed up quick 2-0 in the first 2 minutes. Looking to close this out here potentially in the next minute as Vexed have the camo and railgun. This seems like we're picking up right where we left off here on the Truth match. Just picking up every single camo and picking up every single power weapon previously. But this is a full-out steamroll right now by Vexed.
Stop. They're already dead. This is painful to watch, to be honest, and Cristola is just carrying on. The fact he picked up that railgun. I think that third flag is on the move as well, Mike, if you want to hop on over to that one. There is someone in the base, thankfully for Viperio, but Lunny, Riot, and Cristola all picking up kills. All you need to do now is return, and this should be one man. Thank you, man. That's going to be a 3-0
Wow.
Vexed. Move on to top 6. Viperio, unfortunately, will exit the tournament there, but credit to them. Top 8 is a fantastic performance, but unfortunately, when you're going up against the likes of Vexed, you're always going to have a little bit of a struggle.
All smiles across the board here from the squad. You know, incredible gameplay. I mean, we were just saying, this could be a very fast game type. Vexed really just wanted to get this over with. They want to move forward. Can they be that third team we see guarantee themselves to make it to DreamHack Denver?
I mean, there are only 24 kills for Vexed in that game, only 13 for Viperio. That shows how quick it was. And honestly, it was all of that start with Cristola picking up that railgun uncontested. Then he had the timing for the next one. They were picking up camouflages as well. And Viperio just couldn't keep up. But
there was almost a goose as well. Taking a look at the stats, Squashy with the breadstick, 1 kill, hanging on. But to point out the positives here from Vexed, I mean, 6, 5, 4, 9. A lot of slays coming from here. Decent amount of assists, but it was such a fast game. I mean, there's really not too much. There's not a major slaying difference. 24 kills to 13 kills. 3-minute and 8-second game. That's fast.
yeah, and that's what can happen in this tournament, to be honest. You can just get these class differences between teams.
Check
Unfortunately
out that
for
accuracy.
Viperio. What accuracy?
67%
Wow.
from Quadios. 67%. Quadios, he's showing up as well. We keep talking about Riots, but Quadios definitely another player to point out as well. So Vex taking it 3-0. Gaskin, any more thoughts on this series?
I mean, Cristola had a 50% accuracy, and I think he used a railgun all game, so that's pretty good. That's not too bad, and you're just hitting 50% of your shots with a railgun, so he should be happy. Vex will be happy. Their reward, as I said, is going on to play XL for top 4, so one of those teams is going to finish top 6, which is pretty much the main storyline for this tournament at the moment, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, that's going to do it for us here on the caster desk. Brycey, over to you.
All right, thank you very much. Now, that was a quick one. Hot 3-0 coming out of the gates there. Vex move on. Viperio, you are out of it. Let's go straight into map 1 then, because there isn't a ton we can cover about this series. It was a little bit one-sided towards the end.
Yeah, and I'd say one-sided in the beginning, right, too?
Yeah,
because we had barely gotten backstage to watch the entirety of that game, and it was over. So that 100-0
That one shutout.
That was fast. It was, I mean, we'll take a look at the highlights now, but look at this. I mean, total control from the beginning, and as you can imagine, did not look back. They are firing on all cylinders and leaving no room for error.
Yeah, it was a difficult one to watch. It was one of those game types that I said they were bad at, and to be fair, they haven't performed in this one, but I just think this showed the gulf in class between the two teams, to be totally honest with you. When you know that this is a bad game type, and Vex would admit that, and they still a 100-0 team, I think from there it pretty much spelled curtains for the Viperio squad.
Yeah, that's of course not able to get any points on the board and set them up quite well for the next 2 games.
All right, well, I think that kind of nicely sums it up. There's not an awful lot you can say about a shutdown.
It's 100-0.
No.
What can you say, you know?
Yeah, they could have done better. That's probably about the only thing you could say
Room
for that
for improvement.
one. And they did do better. But on the next map, it wasn't that big of a gulf here. 50-43. They at least kind of redeemed themselves coming into this one.
Yeah.
I mean, they were tied right around the 22 kill mark. You'll probably see it in the highlights. The two teams were quite neck and neck, and as Onset and I kind of agreed on, Truth Slayer was the one game that maybe could have gone the way of Viperio. Certainly the only game left in the series for them that they could possibly steal. You see, it's only a 6-kill game right there at 31-25, but you know, once we saw their opposition take the lead once again, they ran away with it.
Yeah, it was, as you say, early on, it looked like a real battle between these two teams. We've talked about how good Viperio's teamwork was. We've talked about how good their team shot was, but just towards the end of the game, I mean, we say it so many times in Halo that it's a cliche, but the 30 kill mark, I don't know what happens to teams.
Yeah.
They just go on one bad set of slays, and that's it. The game just gets away from them, and it ends up, as you can see, 50-43.
Yeah, and that was pretty much their only chance, because as we go into map number 3 now, I think we were actually so shocked about how quick this one looked like it was going to end. 3-0 coming in from Vex over Viperio. Why, after such a close map 2, was map 3 again kind of back to reality, if you like?
Well, it was over quicker than you could lint your T-shirt.
It was. I was trying to make sure Onset was spick and span. Happy to say he is, but we had to cease the lint rolling early due to just how fast this 3-0 took place. But, I mean, I think the big thing to answer your question there, Brycey, is it's once again, to reiterate Mark's point, it shows the delta in the skill and efficiency of these teams. And when you're looking at objective gameplay, that's going to be kind of exaggerated even more.
Yeah, and the thing that I'm really pleased about on this Vex lineup is, for me, the question mark has been answered about Cristola. Hasn't had the best performances at live events up until this date, but you can see he's really starting to feel comfortable. As you can see, these guys clearly enjoying it on the main stage as well. You can see Looney there on your screen, obviously communicating, trying his best to get back into the game, but it was all smiles, as you can see at the end here from Vex. They were just quite simply a different class to this Viperio lineup.
They certainly were, and I think, you know, we were talking about it before the game, and you try to play the benefit of the doubt and say, you know, maybe Viperio can step to them. Unfortunately, Slayer was the only time they actually looked like they could go a bit close. The other 2 maps were a blowout. Maybe the one of the times this weekend where you can say a 3-0 was a 3-0.
Yeah.
And it looked like it should have been a 3-0 as well. So, I don't know. Right now, it does mean another big game's coming up. It's going to be Vex versus XL coming into the next one.
Ooh, now this
be a good one.
is a heck of a game. This is XL, who are coming off the back of that 3-0 sweep that they received, on the wrong end of a 3-0 sweep from Supremacy. So they're going to be really deflated. They're coming off up against Vex now, who are going to want